Hello, I'm Tim Taylor, the Mayor of Strasburg, and I also have the privilege of serving on the Board of Directors for the Strasburg Museum. I want to welcome you to the town of Strasburg. I also hope you take time to visit our Strasburg Museum, which is a true gem of our community.
Hello, I'm Gloria Stickley, President of the Strasburg Museum, and I'm here to tell you some special things about our museum. First of all, this museum building was constructed in 1891 for use as a steam pottery and served in that capacity until around 1909 when the last pottery was closed. In 1913, the Southern Railroad Company purchased the building for use as a passenger and freight depot. It served these functions until vacated in the 1960s. The Strasburg Museum opened to the public as a National Historic Landmark in 1970. These exhibits include a genuine red caboose that can be toured, a large collection of original Strasburg pottery, a working model railroad depicting Strasburg and the Southern Railroad, an old country store display, Civil War items and military uniforms, colonial and Victorian style rooms. In fact, I'm standing in a colonial kitchen at this moment. Then we have another exhibit of Native American artifacts. There are so many stories to tell about our town. Each exhibit is part of a bigger story about the way our ancestors lived, worked, and raised their families.
Welcome to the Virginia Cadden Strasburg Pottery Room here at the Strasburg Museum. We believe we have one of the very best collections of Strasburg pottery available to the public. Hi, I'm John Adamson, Vice President of the museum and former president, standing here in the pottery room amongst our display of all the great Strasburg pottery family businesses that worked in our town in the 19th century. I hope you'll come see it and enjoy it and learn more about what this industry meant to our town, and you'll understand how proud we are to have it represented here in the museum.
Known as the best little museum in Virginia, the Strasburg Museum is open from May through October. It features exhibits from the colonial period through the mid-20th century.
It was constructed somewhere between 1820 and 1830. This is a barrel rifling lathe machine, and it probably came from Harper's Ferry.
Another thing to check out is the Miller Bible, which is the oldest man-produced item in the museum.
This is a German folio from the production of 1739. It survived the Miller family massacre here near Strasburg, about 4 miles west, in 1764.
My name is Conley Crable. I'm on the board of the Strasburg Museum, and I'm standing by one of our displays. This is Engine 208, a replica built to reenact the Great Train Raid of 1861. Colonel Thomas Jackson had stolen these locomotives, blockaded the B&O Railroad. Somebody brought up, why don't we move them to the south? The closest railroad tracks that the South had control of were in Strasburg, Virginia. It was the Manassas Gap Railroad. And they actually moved these locomotives and rail cars down what is now Route 11 to Strasburg and put them back on the tracks. This replica was built for that. Myself and two other gentlemen probably did 90% of the work, probably have 1,300 hours in it. It's 90% scale because it wouldn't go under the railroad tracks here in Strasburg on Route 11. It is open all the time. You can see it any time of the day or any time of the year. The museum doesn't have to be open. It's interesting and kids love it.
Welcome to the Strasburg Museum Model Railroad. The railroad is open Saturdays throughout the season, but if it isn't open the day you arrive, simply ask for a rain check and you can return any Saturday to see the railroad. Our model depicts operations of the Southern Railway during its heyday around 1939. Which, by the way, is also the period when our restored Southern baggage car was in service. Feel free to explore as long as you like whenever the railroad is open. And the 15-minute operational show begins every half hour on the quarter hour. Our model has had much media coverage, and in 2015 was featured in Classic Toy Trains, a prominent model railroad magazine. Enjoy your visit. And yes, we can enlist your kids as temporary engineers so they can assist with various operations.
I'm a member of the Strasburg Museum and currently serving on the board of directors. I want to welcome you today, and this part of the video is concerning our gift shop, which we're pretty proud of because we have on display a lot of local merchandise. Let me just tell you a little bit about what we have and show you some things regarding the local crafts that we have here. We have certainly a nice display of local pottery. We have the slates here that are hand painted by local artists. We have t-shirts and shirts that have Strasburg Museum logo on them, replicas of the museum, the wooden cutouts. We also have things for children. We also have local books, books on the Civil War, books on the local history of the area, books regarding trains, which you can imagine with this being a museum and also a train depot at one time. And last but not least, we have our homemade apple butter that's made by the members of the Strasburg Museum here at the museum. And it's made in our own copper kettle, has our own label on it. Please take some of this home to your family and friends. It's in quart and pints, very tasty. Please enjoy.
So please come and see and enjoy the history of our small town in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia.